Words lingered, echoing like a distant thunder, that Chidinma laid a curse upon Mama T and her unborn child, that the same misfortune that had befallen her would befall Mama T's daughter. Once upon a time, there was a couple, Adewunmi and Tolani. Their love was pure and strong, the kind of love that made others believe in fairy tales. Their wedding was the talk of the town, a day filled with laughter, blessings, and the promise of a bright future. Together they built a life of warmth and hope, dreaming of the future they will build together. But as time passed, Tolani and Adewunmi became worried. It's been 4 long years and still no child. This weighed heavily on Tolani, especially due to the fact she has had a long-kept secret, a shadow from her past that she fears might be an obstacle to her conceiving. Choices made in her youth that she now feared had closed the door to motherhood. Yet she had never shared this with Adewunmi. Each passing day, her fear grew. As friends and family began to tease them at gatherings, they asked when they would hear the pitter-patter of tiny feet. Tolani would smile, sometimes nod, and sometimes excuse herself, feeling the sting of their words like needles. She often woke in the dead of night, tears streaming down her face, begging the heavens to answer her prayers, especially when it's her time of the month. It was always by her side, holding her close, assuring her everything was going to be well. Eventually, the couple decided to seek answers. They visited doctor after doctor, submitting to countless tests, waiting anxiously for a glimmer of hope. Finally, a doctor told them what they longed to hear. There is no medical reason you cannot have children. You are both healthy. Sometimes nature simply takes its time. Relief washed over them, but for Tolani it was short-lived because when she returned home, her mother was waiting. Her mother, popularly called Mama T, was a woman whose faith lay not in doctors but in tradition, and she spoke to Tolani with a voice that dripped with fear and urgency. "You must give Adewunmi a child," she said, as they both sat down in her room with the door tightly closed. "You see, if you do not give him a child, he will eventually seek another wife. He is a man, and a man needs a legacy." These words clung to Tolani like smoke, filling her mind with visions of Adewunmi turning to another woman, or her losing the love she had fought so hard to keep. Now, to understand why Tolani feared so deeply, we must journey back to the Ilri days of her mother, Mama T. You see, Mama T was a beautiful young lady in her youthful days. She was the talk of the town in the city of Ibadan, as every man wanted to taste her cake. Mama T understood her worth, so she never allowed any kind of man into her life. She was disciplined, hardworking, and focused, and always ready to take risks. But unfortunately for her, she fell in love with a man named Michael, a handsome footballer whose smile could melt any heart. Any heart, Michael's charm was fleeting. He was good with words and knew how and when to use them. But soon, Mama T discovered Michael was a player, a chronic cheater. After this painful discovery, Mama T broke up with him. Her heart shattered and her life changed forever. But not long after then, Michael was diagnosed with a terminal disease, which left him bedridden for months before he eventually passed away. Months later, she discovered she was carrying Michael's child, a child born out of wedlock and destined to grow in the shadow of shame and uncertainties. In those days, Mama T fled her hometown in worries of what people would say. She decided to seek refuge in the bustling city of Lagos. After months of searching, she eventually found a job as a receptionist, hiding her pregnancy as long as she could. But fate had other plans for her. Her employer, Chief Myde, took interest in her. You see, Chief Myde is a wealthy man, older but kind. He has a wife by the name Chidinma, who bore him no children, and though she was bitter, Chief Myde longed to be a father. He offered Mama T a place in his home, a chance to start anew. Desperate, Mama T accepted. Chidinma, however, was not so willing to share her home. She saw Mama T as an intruder, a woman who had come to steal what little peace she had left. One day, in a fit of rage, Chidinma got really upset with how she was about to lose her place to a total stranger, a stranger who knew nothing about the years of struggle she went through to build her home. It was a known fact Chidinma wasn't Chief Myde's first wife. His first wife passed away during labor years ago, so out of wanting a child and a future, he remarried, but unfortunately for him, Chidinma hasn't been able to conceive. Chief Adewunmi, wanting Mama T, was not only coming from a place of love, but also care, especially when he discovered she was pregnant. But no one knew Chief wasn't the biological father of the baby Mama T was carrying. Things got really bad in the Chief's house, but he didn't care. He just wanted to be a father. And on the other hand, Mama T was desperate. She wasn't ready to let go of all the comfort and easy life she was having. Months passed, Mama T became heavy, and she was getting closer and closer to her delivery day. Chidinma got really bitter. She thought of moving out of the house because she couldn't take the humiliation she perceived would befall her when Mama T gives birth. Not long after Chidinma packed out, Mama T delivered her baby girl, which they named Tola, which brought so much joy and happiness into the home of Chief Adewunmi. Words lingered, echoing like a distant thunder, that Chidinma laid a curse upon Mama T and her unborn child, that the same misfortune that had befallen her would befall Mama T's daughter. Regardless, there was celebration, happiness, and joy as everyone came to jubilate with Chief Adewunmi as he finally welcomed a baby into his home after long years of waiting. So Tolani was raised in a home with some much wealth and comfort, but carried the weight of an old curse. Now a woman, married and childless, her mom felt the curse pressing upon her, urging her to take desperate measures. Mama T decided it was time to seek the guidance of a pastor, a man known for his power over dark forces. She took Tolani to him, begging him to break the chains that bound her daughter's womb. The pastor agreed, and Tola began to visit him regularly, praying, fasting, seeking salvation from her fears. But the pastor had his own ways, his own demands, and Tola found herself doing things she could never speak of, not even to Adewunmi, her husband or her mom. It was after these visits that Tola finally conceived, which brought about so much joy to Adewunmi. She bore twins, two beautiful children who brought light and laughter to their lives. Both families rejoiced, believing the curse had been broken. Tolani and Adewunmi celebrated, their love renewed, their faith restored. But fate had not finished with them yet. The years passed, and the twins grew strong, but then, one day, the children fell ill. Their faces grew pale, and their laughter faded to silence. The doctor informed them the twins needed a blood transfusion. Adewunmi, ever the devoted father, offered his blood without hesitation.
As he sat in the hospital waiting, the doctor returned, his face grave. "Mr. Adewunmi," he said, "I'm afraid the blood types do not match. Are you the biological father of these kids?" Time seemed to stand still as Adewunmi stared at the doctor, disbelief etched upon his face. Tolani felt the world spinning around her. She had done everything she could to conceive, to give Adewunmi the family he deserved, but now the truth lay bare before them. Who then is the father of the twins?
If you can't wait to find out who the biological father of the twin is, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And of course, turn on your notifications because the next episode will be dropping and you don't want to miss it. Thanks.